Say have fun in your podcast.
For your podcast.
Say I love you.
I love you. It's fun.
Hey, everybody, what's going on out there? It's Negro Rollin' Podcast coming back at you. I am the KC Stork, one half of the I-70 Connect. Got my homeboy up in Topeka, 30 pieces of AG. What's going on, homeboy?
Hey, what's going on? This is 30.
And that's crazy. So in light of all this, you know, they released that Trayvon Martin story yesterday. It was on BET.
Movie? Was it documentary or something?
I don't know. I think it's like part documentary, part movie. Oh, let me see. I can't. I saw him talking about it. I said I can't do it though. I can't watch it.
Well,
It's on BET, so I can't.
I don't want to watch it either. So,
I guess it took me 2 years to watch 12 Years a Slave. So yeah, Rest in Power. I guess it was the Trayvon Martin story. So I guess it's documentary. Yeah, it's documentary.
well, speaking of which, how do you feel about? Well, I know how you feel about Trayvon, but how do you guys feel about the Emmett Till case being reopened? I don't. Me personally, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like I initially I was like yes, but then at the same time I was like no, it shouldn't be reopened. Well, no, I wouldn't say should. I said I wouldn't want it to be reopened because if it affects me and like I'm just brown, I don't have a direct connection to that. But I could only imagine what you don't want to open up old wounds, though. You know what I'm saying? Like just let it be.
No, I don't agree. If that's the reason why, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with just let it go, especially when this one's come out already and said that she lied. So for me, it's like a yes and a no. Yes, I want to reopen because I want even if she's not found guilty or whatever the hell. I want her to be in court. I want her to be bothered. I want her to have to relive all this shit or whatever they got. I want her to have to sit through that shit and hear this shit and look at the pictures at this boy's life.
She's dead.
Did she die?
She's dead.
Oh, my bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's like in this
I
case, you would just be doing it just for
came out.
just for the optics, because the book already came out. That she said it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless the family is gonna be punished or whatever living family.
You can't punish the family.
I get that.
My bad, y'all. I forgot that after she came out and said that shit that she passed. My bad.
So
that's why
it's like,
trying to know.
What are you gonna do? Is like,
well, I mean, I still want that story to be because there's a lot of people who don't know this story. They go around saying modern day lynching and using these words like this. Let's put a real lynching out there so motherfuckers stop saying this stupid shit when motherfuckers get caught doing dumb shit. I'm being lynched verbally by the people on Twitter. Like, nigga, that no. But then, like I said, no, because once again, I think the Trump administration is trying to get a win on the black side of things. Just like when they gave this pointless to Jack Johnson, when he gave him he pardoned him like not too long ago. It's like, nigga, why?
He pardoned Jack Johnson?
Yes, dog.
This motherfucker, man.
That's what I'm saying, dog. They do this little stupid shit to get these little wins. That's why I say yes and no. Yes, because I want people to know this story. No, because I feel like these motherfuckers just trying to get a win on the black side.
This motherfucker pardoned Jack Johnson. That shit is so fucking foul, man. I can't get over that. What was it? What they accused him of? It was
remember he had the white girl. He took across state line.
State line. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the name of that is called.
I'm up on it right now.
Yeah, that shit is fucking fast, dude.
On Thursday, so the committee found a warrant for transporting white women across state lines. I don't know what they don't have the technical term, but basically, yeah, that's what he was found guilty of. But here's the optics of it all again. So they got his family there. Why is fucking Sylvester Stallone there? I guess he was the one he's the one that's been. Wait a minute. President Trump with Sylvester Stallone and former current boxing attendant signed a posthumous pardon for Jack Johnson on Thursday. This is May 24th, 2018. Nigga, what?
It's called the man. The name of the law is the Mann Act.
There we go.
The Mann Act. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. I don't know. Go ahead. You were saying about Trump and his dumbass.
But just him and just trying to get these little wins with black folks here and there. He's just such a piece of shit, dog. He's just a piece of shit, and the people who come in, like when I say put stuff on Facebook every once in a while, they come in there. Well, are you sure about this? And then you got to give them everything, and they get that. Nigga, this whole new wave of let's just be positive. Nah, nigga, where was this positivity 4 years ago? I hear you say let's be positive 4 years ago.
Because they was on the other side of the road on that one, man.
I get that, but on the other side of what a black dude is that was just trying to literally bring the country together, probably the most likable Negro they're ever going to fucking meet. Let's be honest. Barack Obama is probably the most peaceful, likable Negro these motherfuckers who hated him so much are going to meet. So I know good and well they don't want to fuck with the rest of us.
No. Nah, they don't want to see that.
So fuck them all. Fuck them. Fuck him. Yeah, whatever. Fuck him. Fuck them all, dog. Let's find something funny to talk about. before we get off, dog. Anybody got some jokes, nigga?
I mean, I don't got joke. I don't. It wouldn't. Yeah, shit. We always talk about our. You get the wrong one. They always seem to get the wrong ones. All these racist motherfuckers seem to get the wrong one.
They always find the right one, dog.
Well, right. They always get the right one. They can never get the ones like us. So in light of that, I'm gonna kick you out real quick and just share my screen real quick. Hopefully you can see it, Joe. But I know you're gonna be able to hear it. So we always talk about, they always get the wrong one, the right ones, and they never run into the right ones. And so this is like on a highway, just a male and a female couple, white, and just road rage against, I guess, two minorities. I don't know if one is black, one is Hispanic, or whatnot, but nonetheless, let's see. See what I mean? So to describe it, they were arguing. The white male, goes to the car and kicks it, and the driver just gets out the way and commences to wail on him.
Damn,
kick his ass, and his homeboy gets out and starts wailing on him, and his girl's stopping it, but she gets like the 2-piece.
I am glad that okay. Now I will just say this though.
I'm not gonna advocate hitting a woman.
No. I said. That's what I'm saying. I will say that if you watch the video, you can see that man show restraint because like she grabbed him, he hit her, and then I think he realized that was a woman. And you can see him back away.
Yeah, because that one punch caught her.
Well,
he
could
have easily dropped another 3 piece.
Because all I'm saying is he hit no boy, and like you ever been in a fight. Okay, so I know. What does it say? I know you or Joe there. Okay, we both whap hitting this nigga. So I didn't account for my co-pilot. Who the fuck behind me pulling on me? So as soon as you pull on me, yak. They like you can tell you like, oh shit, wait a minute, that's a woman.
Right.
So I mean, I don't. If he would have kept hitting her, I'd probably been like, nigga, you went a little bit far. Because the whole time she's just saying. But the thing is though, the white dude kicked the car.
Yeah, he did. So
like she's just like. Innocent bystander in this motherfucker's foolishness because you stop.
And now she wants to stop. And before that, she was like yelling inside the window at the passenger.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be no racist trope, dog, but like them niggas look like them monkeys from motherfucking Planet of the Apes, dog. They got that car, nigga, and just took to the air on old boy, bro.
Yeah.
That shit was brutal.
And so here's my other one. This was more as a video, but it's more of like what you hear. So basically, like the video says, a news reporter just broke a racist brain by asking him which side won the Civil War.
Flags of all sizes sit outside this home in the 2000 block of State Route 132.
Come on, nigga. This nigga picking these on his porch.
He says that family hates black people.
I would say, everybody hates everybody, It's
that's that bullshit,
what
dog.
You hate, what you like.
Louis Jones Jr. lives here with his father. He and his friend Tammy spoke to us about the display, saying it's been up for years.
They went up, a few of them at one time, and then a couple more were added, but the flags have always flown. That's for our country.
They ain't got nothing to do with race. We ain't racial.
Jones tells me he's proud to fly the Confederate flag.
The rebel flag, it's not.
Confederate flag.
Yeah, it's not racist. It's for the war that we won.
It's for. Hey, hold on though.
And we is in the South or the North?
Hey,
We
hold on though.
Hold on.
So that flag would be the wrong flag to fly. Flags of all.
Hold on though, dog. Did they really lose?
I mean, in the books they didn't. Anyhow.
Seems to be a lot of forgiveness going on, dog. Motherfuckers
Anyhow,
get that racist ass crack flag, dog.
It's crazy how at the beginning, shout out to Black Guy Who Tips and Rod and Karen with the fucking with black people shit. Because every time I see some shit like this, I automatically assume, I always say 100, even though I'm not quote unquote black or whatever. I always say fucking with people because they genuinely believe they had the flag up for a genuine reason. Not to be racist or anything like that. But at the end, you could see that, like, when he said, "Oh, this is for the war that we won," who's we? The Confederates broke away from the United States, bro, and they lost.
Look at the Tilden Hayes Compromise of 1877.
Mm-hmm.
History teacher, about to start.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, teacher.
But yes, the Confederates, Robert Lee, basically submitted at the Appomattox Courthouse, blah, blah, blah. But then they went into Reconstruction. It lasted for 12 years. They got, a lot of legislation passed, but at the same time, it fell short of accomplishing a lot of its goals because basically what happened is you had the Republicans and Democrats run for president in that election after Grant stepped down. And it came to a situation where the Republicans wanted power, and they said, "I'll tell you what, we'll take all of the troops, we'll take all the, the oversight we had down in the South away from Reconstruction. We'll take all that away if you let us have this Republican president in Hayes, Rutherford B. Hayes." And so basically, yes, we won, but 12 years later, it was damn near back to business as usual because all the oversight had left. Jim Crow had set in. All the voting rights that were passed during the Reconstruction era were ignored or were circumvented through the courts. Put it this way, if Reconstruction was effective, Martin Luther King would not have been necessary 100 years later. You know what I'm saying? So we still, that war is still ongoing, man. It's the 100 Years War. It's more than 100 Years War. You know what I'm saying? That thing is still ongoing. And they keep talking about the South will rise again. These people, real talk, I wouldn't be surprised if during the Trump era, this shit popped off for real. So,
especially if
you say, did we win that war?
Go ahead.
Nah, I didn't hear you. What you say?
No, you talking about Trump. I said, especially if this shit keep kicking off as far as this trial and they keep finding new shit. These racists gonna lose their mind if anything happened to old Master Trump, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know how that would look in this day and age. I mean, back then it was kind of sectionalism. It was North versus South.
Yep.
Now it'd be, left versus right. And I don't know how that would look. But, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if to get elected, Trump said the only way I'm going to get reelected is if I start a civil. I really do think that Trump wants to start a war. I really do think that Trump wants to start a war, whether it be a civil war or a war with Iran. You know what I'm saying? He tried to get it with North Korea, it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I think he wants to start a war because he thinks that will galvanize the country and they'll get behind the leader and he can get a second term.
It worked for George Bush Jr.
It worked for George.
It worked for George.
So I mean, I really do think this dude is trying to get us into a war by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. And there's also that ego about being the commander in chief. He'll be a quote unquote 5-star general in during time of war. So I mean, and he'll probably send the troops, and then 3 or 4 days later he'll declare victory or whatever.
Man, fuck him. Fuck that dude, man. But yeah, that's funny though, because that's not funny, but it also gets to it's a lot of the ignorance that is still just pushed in our society, as far as especially you see down south how Texas is a real big bad state as far as altering the textbooks, rewording, they keep some shit out, and people just don't learn or know about this shit, and then they go to Fox News or whatever blog or fucking Alex Jones or whatever the fuck to get their history lessons, and it's just no wonder you have a man with a Confederate flag saying, because the North won. You're like, okay, nigga, but that ain't the flag of the North. I mean, per se, you know what I'm saying, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, the ignorance is just mind blowing sometimes, dog. Even you see on Facebook where I get it, there is fake news out there, whatever, and that term's starting to piss me off because anything that you don't agree with all of a sudden is now become fake news. Even though you have the president on TV saying this shit, then 2 days later he says I didn't say this shit, and then somebody's in your mentions talking about, well, that's just fake news. Nigga, he literally just said this shit 2 days ago. Well,
he did this. He did the same thing when he
was
done
it numerous
in
times,
Kansas
bro.
City.
He's done it numerous times. So he's no, I didn't say that. The whole shit with Russia, where he's like, well, I should have said, and
ignore the statement 5 times, didn't he, or some shit like that? Anyhow, so yeah, he did the same shit when he was here in Kansas City trying to raise money for that fool or whatever, and he said, he came out and said, don't believe what you hear or see, whatever I tell you.
He sure did.
He sure did. Nigga, ignore the man behind the curtain, nigga. It is me, the powerful eyes, nigga. We've seen this movie before.
I was like, I didn't believe that with my boy, because he was speaking at a veterans engagement or some shit, and my boy asked me to come.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars, whatever their headquarters is here in Missouri.
Well, he wanted me to go out there to protest veterans against Trump type of shit. So, and I said I couldn't because I had a prior engagement to go to, and I said I would have gladly.
You better not go out there, nigga. They shipping you directly. You better, nigga. You gonna wake up in a fucking bag, nigga.
But he, I was keeping an eye out, my ear to what the press was saying or whatever, and he came out. I mean, I'm not saying it verbatim, but I'm paraphrasing. He just said to the extent of, don't believe what you hear, what you see, just believe what I tell you. What?
That's basically what he said.
I'm like there's no fucking way. You know what I mean? He's already lying to people with these jobs. There's already a $38 billion, what is a $12 billion bill that to help the farmers in the Midwest.
Yeah,
but even the farmers themselves are saying we don't want this bailout. These farmers out here already said they don't want the fucking bailout because the bailout's temporary. They got another seasons. They got several seasons to worry about. So, but I guess though, people. I don't know if this is winning, if this is the new winning, nigga, I want to lose, dog.
But you call it a bailout. This shit's not a bailout. That's fucking reparations. That's a problem that he caused.
Yep.
Right.
He's starting a fucking trade war.
Oh yeah.
And who's that gonna hurt? That's gonna hurt the heartland farmers who sell soybean over to China. You know what I'm saying? In ridiculous amounts.
Well, and in Mexico, Mexico just fuck. I don't know if I said that on our
I think you did.
messengers.
I think you did.
I'll get the article up here again. Mexico bought like for the next 10 years they enter a contract with Argentina to get their soybeans for the next 10 years. I think it's like $11+ billion every year.
Mm-hmm.
What? Where the fuck are we gonna get that?
So that's not a bailout. That's reparations, man.
Yeah.
He is causing injury. He need to pay them farmers for their lost wages and so he's gonna do it because that's his base. These are the fools who vote for him anyway. I don't know, man. I remember talking to a dude right after the whole Russia thing, where he was meeting with Putin, and he said what he said about I don't know why it wouldn't be, I don't know why it would be the Russians, and I'm like, I don't understand how you could watch this man completely, deny his own structures, American institutions, and side with, of all countries, the Russian, and to be clear, not president, a Russian dictator.
Yeah.
And still find a way to side with that man. I don't know what type of Kool-Aid he's got these dudes drinking.
Well, even his own security analysis, was like the director of national intelligence. They're in the fucking blind. They're in the blind. They're all in the blind. They're like, we can't fucking that. The DNI director was in Colorado during a press conference while the whole invitation to extend the invitation to Putin to the White House.
Mm-hmm.
And it caught him by surprise. Like he thought it was a joke. Like you could clearly see that he thought it was a joke.
Nah, he knew that shit was real. He just knew he was caught off guard with that shit because he knew anything can happen in the Trump. Anything happens, anything can and will happen in the Trump era, man. So if they say it, man, I believe that shit.
Yeah, and then look at this. And even yesterday, I like finance. I like finance stuff, and I keep an eye to it, and that's why I always get kind of infuriated with some of this shit. So Russia is all of a sudden letting themselves releasing a lot of their assets, U.S. assets, whether it be treasuries that they own or whatever. So that's going to send the markets into a spin. You ask yourself, why the fuck are they all of a sudden getting rid of their U.S. assets? I mean, there's several theories out there. It's never good when you let go of your assets. Usually you're going to commit suicide or you have something major plan against it. So I saw that yesterday, and then this morning, even yesterday, the spin on this collusion shit is the meetings never happened. The meetings never happened. They never occurred.
No, it never occurred, even though it did occur. But let's not forget that this motherfucking Rudy Giuliani talking about collusion isn't a crime.
Collusion is not a crime. Collusion, my good sir, collusion, it's not in the law as a crime.
Hey, before you get off with the Giuliani, we'll put a pin in it. I want to come back to that, but I don't want to leave this topic first. Yeah. I'm tripping off of how your boy was denying that there was influence from the Russians. He said, I don't see why it would be the Russians. You know what I'm saying? Then turned around and the next day said, I meant to say wouldn't, so it was kind of a double negative. I don't see why it wouldn't be. And then, like in the next 24 to 48 hours, said that I'm worried about the Russians helping helping the Democrats in the midterms because I've been so fucking hard on Russia. Where the fuck does this dude come off? He denied this shit happened 72 hours ago. Now he thinks that it's gonna happen in favor of the Democrats, and then people just sit here and buy this shit, man. I don't understand how that works, man. That is some kind of fucked up Jedi mind trick that I don't understand how the hell he gets away with.
That's the definition of white privilege, though.
No, it is that motherfucker. It's that motherfucker that video you just showed where that nigga said the North won. Flag, dog. That's what is happening. What's happening, dog? It's like fucking these niggas is fucking each other's cousins and aunts and uncles, inbred motherfuckers, and they just like, but we won. It's like, no, nigga.
No. Dude. He was denying this shit happened, and now he's concerned it's going to happen in favor of the other side. Come on, man. You can't make that shit up, man.
And the thing that pisses me off is I get that you're a Republican. If somebody's a Republican, like you said, they're on the other side of it, dog. But can you imagine the optics of Barack Obama going to North Korea to meet with that motherfucker, then coming back, sitting down with the Russian president who people are saying helped him win an election, and then saying, oh, yeah, by the way, hey, the Republicans, he might help them win this next election. Nigga, white people would be at the jobs throwing themselves off of buildings, bro. They got mad because this nigga wore a tan suit. But let this orange fat-faced motherfucker just say what he want, tweet what he want, do what he want. It's sickening, bro.
It's infuriating.
And let's not forget all the money this nigga and his family is stacking while he sits in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's not forget that part.
Well, because what's the name had to just shut her business down, huh?
Yeah, but they already had what 100 and some odd millions in profits or some shit like that. Well, I mean, through different games or whatever, but not her business solely. I mean, that's not what I'm saying.
And you know, you can't ignore it, and I think for the most part, all three of us are quote unquote woke, as the young kids will say, and we keep our eye tuned to this shit, right? Ears tuned to the streets. And then the other news came out with the Russian spy, that Maria Butina, whatever her name is. She's tied up in the NRA's tied up with her and Russians and all that shit. This is a fucking movie waiting to happen, though. I swear to God, I watched Red Sparrow like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, all I could think about is this shit, though. Like, all I could think of when that Maria Butina story broke out with the redhead Russian, the typical redhead Russian. Fucking spy, though.
It's all a bunch of frumpy, old, fat white dudes who want to fuck something young. That's how you get them.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to this Giuliani shit real quick. Hold up.
What?
Because I don't want to let that shit go. I don't want to let that Giuliani shit go.
Paul Manafort's trial is starting tomorrow.
Right.
Oh, such a creepy looking
of the
motherfucker.
president. I know that for a fact. They can squeeze him. Paul Manafort does not know anything. Nor could it be possible he did. He was with him for 4 months. I was there when Paul Manafort was there. Paul Manafort was a brilliant gatherer of delegates.
Gatherer of delegates. He was the chairman of the
He was, but he really wasn't. Jared and the Sons and Bossy and these other people were really running it.
So,
but okay. But Paul is a.
But you're saying that Paul Manafort did not have any power in the campaign?
I'm not saying that. I said he had a very discreet, important area. What I'm saying is he was never involved in intimate business relationships with Donald Trump. I mean, that's just 4 months. They're not going to be colluding about Russians, which I don't even know if that's a crime, colluding about Russians.
Okay.
You start analyzing the crime. The hacking is the crime.
That certainly is the original
Well, the
crime.
president didn't hack.
Of course not. That's the original
He didn't
crime.
pay them for hacking.
And as you know, it has led
Man, turn this nigga off, dog. Turn crypt keeper ass nigga off, dog.
I wanted to play the video and the audio so that it doesn't. We could digest that. You know what I'm saying? That we could digest it and dissect that, because I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, well, you took his words differently," or "You guys are analyzing his words differently." What he meant was no.
Fake news.
Fake news, nigga. Fake news.
I'm tired of this shit. Like, I'm tired of the word, "Oh, he meant to say this," or "He meant this." No, he just said, "No." Like, he doesn't even know if colluding was. He just said colluding is not the crime.
Well,
The
like
hacking
you said, crimes that fall under the U.S. legal code, such as conspiracy to
conspiracy.
So they can get them for conspiracy, but there is nothing specific in U.S. legal code about election collusion. So you are correct, but that does not relieve them of any crime because they're still, like they were talking about, their election fraud, hacking, even the wire fraud, which things are being discussed. But nobody wants to talk about that. Well, Hillary had emails, and that's all bad. So yeah.
But,
and she said predator one time. So
yeah. But even the president
if I were to steal something and then hand it to you,
yeah,
and then you were in possession of said stolen merchandise,
yes, that's a crime.
That's a crime, right?
That is a crime, my friend.
You're the crime because of knowing or some shit like that.
Yeah, I knowingly took or bought or whatever, or in possession of stolen goods. I don't know specifically what the law states, but it is a crime to knowingly possess stolen goods.
Yeah. So if the hackers committed the crime, which was akin to stealing,
yes,
and then transferred said information to the Trump campaign, the Trump organization.
Shut up and dribble the ball. Shut up and dribble the ball.
Nigga, dribble the ball,
dribble
nigga.
The ball. Shut up and dribble the ball.
Yeah. So.
No.
I don't know.
You're
I'm
right,
confused by that shit.
Because what is it like? What is it like? Premeditated murder. You could be convicted of that without even, or intended murder. You could get convicted. That's a crime too. So even if you, even attempted murder or attempted any crime could be a crime. So just he knowingly, it's kind of what they're trying to say is that, oh, well, he didn't know where his money was going. I'm like, hey, look, it's just kind of like my investments. I don't know where all my money is being invested at, but I know that if there was somehow, some way, if some shit was to go down, I know I'm going to be affected by it. So, I mean, I don't know what they're trying to prove. I don't know how they're trying to distance themselves.
You can't on one hand say he's a brilliant businessman, and then the other hand say he had no idea where his money was going.
Exactly.
You can't have both ways.
What does that mean? You can't have your cake and eat it too?
Why can't he? Why can't he? He can say that there was no hacking from the Russians, and then he could turn around and say the Russians are gonna do this shit in favor of the Democrats. Why the fuck he can't?
I mean, yeah, you're right. He can say whatever. At this point in time, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. Dog. That nigga can say we going to the sun, but we gonna wait till it gets dark. That way it ain't that hot.
Oh, speaking of the sun,
niggas will be like, cool.
Hey, speaking of the sun, did you guys see that here that they found some underwater river or some shit in Mars under whatever river?
Yeah.
So that Space Force shit is gonna happen, though. That Space Force shit is gonna happen.
Nigga, ain't no Space Force gonna happen, dog.
It's gonna happen, though.
Hey, I see enough alien movies to know you gotta stay away from Mars and anything that's alive. Nigga, it always goes bad. Some comes back to the Earth and kills everybody.
Yeah, though. But
anyway, yes, it's supposed to be a happy story, and you motherfuckers went with that.
Well, hold on. Before I go with a happy story, let me share my last video that I wanted to share. And this is like close to home, well, to you guys, closer to you guys than me. It'll be in Peculiar, Missouri. We had a cop hit a bicyclist that just happened to be recording on his helmet camera, and here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow! You mother!
That nigga drove right.
Look at your phone, officer. I got a text from another officer. Give me a second. You mother.
This shit off stage though.
Why are you texting? I don't care if you're texting.
I wasn't texting. I was looking at my phone.
Either way. Why are you doing that in a turn?
I wasn't texting,
dude.
Okay.
I'm gonna use that shit next time I get pulled over.
I wasn't texting, nigga. I was looking at my phone.
Next time I get pulled over, I wouldn't text him. Mm-mm.
Hey, Doc, hey, you know what? I ain't got to guess the race. He white. The white.
I'm glad that livened up the mood a little bit because
that nigga said, I'm not texting.
He opened the door saying, "Let me send this text message to another police officer." He opened the door saying, "Let me send this text message."
Hey, baby, I wasn't cheating. I was making sure her pussy pH balance is right. You know I'm a scientist.
Oh.
Make sure there ain't no cocaine in there.
There ain't no cocaine in that pussy. I had to make sure I want her to be safe.
I mean,
she's trying to get a job.
I mean, they did. I mean, the police officer is out, is suspended right now. I think with pay, pending an internal investigation. So, but still, though, I mean, that's.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
I would if I was them. I'll ask for. I'm not gonna settle out of court though. I'm taking that shit to court though. I'm bringing out criminal charges.
Manafort has his day.
Sorry, go ahead.
But anyway, so hopefully that lining up the mood and a little bit,
Well, let me darken it back up.
Oh, goddamn it.
What about that police officer that was out there tasing people all willy-nilly in handcuffs?
Hey, dog.
Hey, they need to kill all the motherfuckers that attended that were present in that scene.
In the whole scene.
Everybody that was in the scene, all the police officers, they should all be fucking fired and criminal charges should be brought up. And that was just, and one did the crime and the other ones were assisting with the fucking crime. I don't give a shit.
Accessories. They were accessories. If they didn't report that stuff immediately, they need to be brought up on charges of accessories.
I know they fired the 2 cops or whatever, but granted, they were rookie cops though. So, it was like the union was like, we ain't going to protect you. You know what I'm saying? They weren't invested yet. So
the dude who had the taser was a rookie?
No, he wasn't a rookie. He was like he was just finishing his he was like a year and a half in the force. So you have to be vested for
dude, how you come in that damn racist a year in?
I don't know.
The whole thing was crazy though. That nigga wasn't even in the frame, dog. He just came out of nowhere. Right. I was like, where did that come from?
Well, he came out like from behind the dash cam, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody,
let me make sure this dash cam is in frame so I can get this motherfucker on video. I'm about to get this nigga right here.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like they had old boy against the car, hands on his head, everybody cool, and that nigga just came off the top rope with the taser, dog. Right, neck, dog.
Yeah.
And they gave the people's elbow out this motherfucker.
Hey, what's even worse though, nigga? So I put taser while I handcuffed. Well, I started to put taser. Nigga, all this shit that comes up, dog. What the fuck is wrong? We know what's wrong with a lot of these police, nigga. It's goddamn, they tasing. Nigga, a lot of people are getting taser while they in handcuffs, nigga. Yeah.
No, but yeah, that's my stance on everybody that was at that scene, bro. It needs to be brought up on charges. Fuck what you heard.
Every single one of them.
I follow this guy, Mr.
Hold
Check.
on, Frank. Damn, hold on. I want to go forward. Oh, you motherfucker. Never mind.
I got it.
Well, I got it, but it's like the whole video where they show the cops. So this is what happened. So they went to pull him over. He rolled a little bit. So the cops get him out. One cop got him, the dude get out. He ain't fighting. Get tased. This other nigga roll up in a police car. So that's 1, 2, 3 cop cars roll up out of nowhere. And the other dude get out the car. So this dude get out his car, the one that gonna tase him. He get out his car, grabs old buddy by the neck, slams him against the motherfucking window, comes back, chokes him up again, and granted, the whole time the nigga's in handcuffs, right? He's controlled, he ain't fighting. This nigga, hey dog, I didn't realize this. This nigga dick so hard to tase a motherfucker, he dropped the taser first.
Yeah.
Nigga dick so hard to tase a nigga, he dropped the taser, picked it up, and then tased this nigga in handcuffs, dog. Mm-hmm. But we ain't supposed to say fuck the police. We ain't supposed to, no knees, all this other shit, dog. Oh my god, dog.
Look, and let's see, Starks. This is his quote. This is the chief of police.
What if Nick? No, you don't know what that man got like Anthony. What if he got a device in? What if he got a defibrillator in? What if he got a pacemaker in? And you sending bolts through his body. First of all, the heart is an electrical conduction system. You sending bolts through somebody's body, dog. You can stop their heart from beating just because you pissed off about something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it'd be fucking. And it ain't just racist, guys. I done seen a couple of niggas on this shit too. Well, it shouldn't run and all this apologetic shit. I'm like, this nigga ain't running. He got out his car. He was arrested. He was in custody. He wasn't fighting. And this motherfucker slammed him against the window. And he probably was like, hey, you can't hear the sound. He probably said, hey, man, fuck you or something. Same thing I would say, nigga slammed me on against the car, and I ain't doing shit wrong. Oh, my God, dog.
Well, apparently.
See how I took that light moment? And darken that bitch right back up.
Right back up. Yeah. Now I'm mad again.
I got you on this roller coaster, bro.
Oh no, I follow this guy on Mr. Checkpoint on Instagram, and he's the one that puts the coins into meters in California. So here's one of them.
Could I feed it? The meter. Yeah. What? What do you mean, is it mine? Why do you care? The meter's green. It is now. Yo, don't be that guy. Trust me, you're going to be all over Instagram. Dude, you're ticketing a green meter. Yo, Officer Moliopolio. Doesn't matter, it's not. It's not, and you're not going to write a ticket to a green meter. To a green meter?
I can't. I get annoyed, but I do. But we need, if the shit gonna get right, you need more white people using their privilege to fuck with the police, dogs, and bring this shit to the forefront.
Look at this other one. Hold on.
I hate that if a black person did that, nigga, they whoop 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 whoop. It'd be the same thing again. Whole bunch of cop cars roll up and they get tased in the back of the neck.
Hey, here's another one. Hold up.
What am I doing? You haven't seen harassment yet. Well, apparently this is harassment if you're standing in front of my face.
This is a white cop on a Hispanic male.
That's some real harassment right there, bro. Recorded this, bro. Go ahead. Why are you harassing me? What am I doing to you? Because I looked your direction. Sit there. Because I looked your direction. No one's moving. No one's moving. I never moved any direction. Stop. What are you coming at me for? I looked at your direction. Who's touching you? Who's touching you? You're in front of me. You're in my personal space. What do you mean? Touching? Yes, I do. It's my constitutional right to have my own personal space. What do you mean I have no personal space? Keep mad dogging me. No one's mad dogging you. They're looking your direction. If you don't know what that is, then you need to fucking go black classes, retard. Excuse me? You heard me. Turn around. For what? Turn around.
What's he getting arrested for?
Turn around. What am I getting arrested for? Turn around. What am I getting arrested for? I'm asking you.
Let him know.
What am I getting arrested for? Turn around. What am I getting arrested for? Turn around. What am I getting arrested for? No one's good. Hey, what am I doing?
So you say he's being detained, right? What's he being detained for, officer? I said he's being held in handcuffs. Oh, there needs to be a reason.
All right, yeah.
Crime has happened. Okay. He's been detained for a crime just occurred. Okay.
Obviously, some crime against me just occurred. Yes.
A crime has occurred, dog.
But you see the difference, though, dog. It's a brown dude, 3 white cops. He get arrested. Oh, and true, the white dude fucking with a meter maid or meter person. I don't want to be sexual, whatever the fuck. A meter person, whatever the fuck. He can easily just call the cops too.
Mm-hmm.
He could have.
Well, they are law enforcers too.
But see the different energy, dog. When it's brown people, nigga. Here's this cop, nigga. I don't know if Joe can see the video. This motherfucker got at least a good 6 inches and 100 pounds on this dude, bro.
Yeah, I saw it before. I'm not watching that, but I saw it before.
It's like, nigga. But then you got his 2 friends there. Hey man, get your man, dog. Like, hey man, let's go. Leave him alone, bro.
Yeah, but I want to know what crime occurred. Because if a crime already had occurred, he should have already been in the patio.
No crime occurred, dog.
Exactly.
He spoke back. He didn't know his place, dog. That's what happened. You get all these motherfuckers who either they didn't pan out for him in high school or didn't pan out for him in college as far as sports, or maybe they weighed 100 pounds soaking wet in high school and was getting fucked up daily, and now these motherfuckers got a taser and a gun and they lifting little weights. The guy got a little weight to him now, and now they taking that shit on everybody, dog. That's not policing. That's not policing. You're supposed to make the community safe. How are you making the community safe when you're making the occupants of that community feel threatened at every fucking given point?
All right. And just so that you guys don't think that we're just cop bashing or whatnot, because partly we are, but here's I'm gonna end it on a lighter note.
There we go.
I'm gonna end it on a lighter note. A cop goes off on another cop for harassing his citizens.
Hey, let's see the color of the citizen though.
Oh, it's brown.
He's brown. Okay, I say.
The 4th of July.
Independence Day, right? There's a constitution that I swear an oath to. So don't freaking mess with it with these citizens. You understand me? I know you're not subjected to the Constitution when it comes to your job, but don't mess with it. They have a right to the property. They have a right not to be searched by anybody. You understand that? They have a right not to be accosted. He lives here. I swear an oath to the Constitution. Don't mess with it. You understand me?
Yeah, it's like it's a security guard.
All right? He's watching fireworks.
The 4th of July.
That's fine, dog. That's all great, but until all the motherfuckers start holding each other accountable,
yeah.
Just like it's on my black ass to make sure the young black youth pull their pants up for some odd reason. Y'all got to make sure these motherfuckers stop motherfucking harassing people. Ain't my job, dog. Like I keep saying, ain't my job to fix racism and broken motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's incumbent upon all of us. I mean, I think the purpose of this podcast is to educate, man. You know what I'm saying? People who wouldn't come in contact with people like you and me and Frank get an opportunity to listen to our viewpoints, and they can take them, they can leave them.
Well,
That's
what I'm saying, though. Like, I can educate and tell you and show you that we all just human beings, whatever. But it's not my job to go out of my way to fix you as a person.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you were racist, it's like all I can do is be me. I guess that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I get we all play a part in this, but I didn't fuck up the system. I didn't create the system. I'm just like all of us. We trying to live in it. So yeah, I just get frustrated, dog.
Yeah, I don't want to make it my job to be, because again, even at my job, I don't want to be the one explaining. I don't have to be explaining why you shouldn't touch my hair or another brown person's hair or whatnot when they wear a wig or whatever, weave. I don't want you to be the one asking, okay, where was I from? Where was I born? Don't come and ask me that. I don't, if I don't want to say it, I'm not coming up and asking everybody, hey, what dish is this? What's the origin of this dish? What did you put in this dish? Or, where were you born? And, how do you feel for being born from there? I'm like, those are the type of questions I don't want to answer. I mean, if like I wore.
So if I got a peanut allergy, I can't ask you what you put in the.
Listen.
They can't ask you what's in the food, bro.
I'm not. You know what?
Nigga, shut up and ingest that shit.
Nigga, here's some Benadryl.
Like I wore the Nike shirt Equality, that just says Equality on it at work, and I got a lot of not dirty looks, but like kind of what does that mean, and what do you mean by equality? Like exactly what it means, though. Like everybody should be equal, though. You know what I mean? So
except for pedophile and rapists.
They get this equal ass whooping. That's what they need to get.
And racist. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Since Joe made the mood all sad again.
Hey, before we leave that, look, I get it. People have their. Let's distinguish this. People have their stereotypes, and then you have your races. You know what I'm saying? And it's a fine line. If you're gonna walk that line, you better know where the fuck you stand on, because if you have your stereotypes, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing, but being a racist is being a racist, dog. So,
oh my god, people on Twitter doing too much.
But I don't know. I do agree that there needs to be a platform of like education or whatnot, but it shouldn't solely fall on people of color to be the ones educating now, because it's a two-way street. You're a teacher. You're a Jeff. So I mean, you know that you have to you provide the education, but the students have to be willing to pay heed to it in order to absorb it. You know what I mean? So
there's a book called "You Can't Teach What You Don't Know." Basically, and so through my postgraduate education classes, they trot this book out all the time. And I've been probably assigned to read that book like 3 times. I read it the first time and then just remembered it and got the points for the report the second 2 times. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's basically a white dude who I think he went to Yale, or if he didn't go to Yale, I think he was in the community of Yale. And basically, he was coming to grips with his white privilege, and so I'll let y'all go research the book and see what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? But every time I sit in the class and we have a discussion about this book, the white people in the class just have this epiphany. The fucking light just turns on over their head and they be like, oh my God, I didn't realize that I was being so, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so sorry for it. And so these are conversations, I grew up in the urban. Well, I grew up in a decent neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I went to school in the urban core, and basically we would have these conversations all the time. These are things that people of color living in America understand at a very young age. You have people who are postgraduate. I'm talking about 35, 40-year-old people reading this book for the first time, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that! Oh my God, have I done this?" Have I been using my white privilege? Have I wronged you, my Negro friend? So what I'm saying to you is this. Yes, it doesn't fall upon us completely to do this. But what I'm saying to you is you can't teach what you don't know. White people cannot go out and be advocates for change if they don't understand that change is necessary. You know what I'm saying? It is incumbent upon us to wake up people through protests, through podcasts, through, whatever type of media, through conversations around the water cooler, and let them know that, hey, there's some unrest here and there's a problem of inequality. If I wear a T-shirt to work like you do and people ask that question, well, then I'm going to engage in the conversation. Well, hey, this is going on over here. This is going over here. And I just felt like wearing it today. Some days I rock like on a casual day, I rock a Nat Turner T-shirt to work. You know what I'm saying? And on those days, don't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling rebellious today. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's an opportunity for me. The kids will be like, "Hey, who's that Nat Turner on your T-shirt? Or who's that on your T-shirt?" I'll be like, "That's Nat Turner." Who's Nat Turner? Well, let me tell you about Nat Turner. Let me tell you what he was involved in. Or I wear the Huey Newton shirt sometimes. Who's that on your T-shirt? Well, that's Huey Newton. He was leader of the Black Panthers. Let me tell you a little bit about what he was about. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you some of the struggles that he's dealing with that still are going on today. And so what I'm saying is if we leave it up to white people to solve the problems of the world, they're the ones who fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? We have to make sure that we are in on that conversation and we shape that conversation because we weren't there to shape the conversation in the origins. We weren't there at the Constitutional Convention to shape that conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's a 3/5 clause and Native Americans were excluded and all these nativist type of activities that were going on then, they're still going on today. We have now the forums to participate in that conversation. We have the responsibility to do it because we are able. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to get in there and shape that conversation because if we leave it up to white people who broke the system's going to stay broke.
Right, and I feel that's why I say with the caveat of like what you're saying, basically to be there, give you the tools, show you what's wrong, but then I can't go to your home where your grandma, your mama, your uncle, your brother maybe, and cousins spit all this racist bullshit, and you sit down and break bread with them, therefore continue to perpetuate that racism. I can't be there for. All you know is you work with Roger. Roger seems to be a pretty good dude. He's shown me a lot. He's taught me a lot about the struggles of him growing up. And now when I'm sitting at the table with mom, grandpa, whoever the fuck, and they're saying niggas ain't this, niggas ain't that, and hopefully they go back to Africa.
Oh yeah, you got to continue to work. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. So I shouldn't say it's
it's up to black people like to give that information and say this is what, like you said, they don't know, they don't know. But once you know, you got to carry the ball, dog.
But you have to understand, we've been sitting in this knowledge for decades, our entire lives. They show up to college classes, not college classes, postgraduate classes, and have these lights turned on for them, and so they're babies in this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I believe some. I think some of that.
They toddlers. No, I'm telling you, man. They eyes be open.
I trust you, so I'm gonna say okay. I trust you. I'm gonna say okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm mixed. I got family members who I had to talk to.
Okay,
that don't understand this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I just got triggered. I just got triggered, Jeff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you got to get going. We got a hard out here in a little bit, but you're right though, because I mean I feel you. I have family members too. You know, my wife was white. She's not half white, so she's white. And so that being said, you know, there's a white family behind her, obviously. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I also have the nephew, my oldest nephew, Carter. I mean, I don't care about saying his name on there. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about it. But you know, he just went. You know, we had a discussion about. You know, he went to DC, and I asked him, "Oh, what did you see? What you know?" Because they're from a small town, but I feel like he's somewhat cultured more than the average kids in his town, because you know he has family members that are mixed and you know of different origin and whatnot, right? Not just my end, but on his other family's end too. So he has a good view of an understanding of both worlds. May not understand everything, but he could absorb and grasp. He has a little bit. He has more questions than anything, and I'm okay with answering them. You know, when he asked me. And one of the things was, like, I happened to reach into his baseball bag. We were at a baseball tournament, and I saw a red hat, and it was the MAGA hat. And I immediately dropped it, and I was like, oh, man. I'm like, Carter. And he's like, what? I'm like, listen, but do you know what this means? And his mom already knew. His parents already, I looked at their parents, and I'm like, I know. And I was like, okay. Y'all gonna give him a pass because I know. He's like, look, I just did it because that was the thing to do. And I was like, look, the mere fact.
Who bought the hat for him though?
He did. He bought it. He bought it. He bought it with his own money. It was
right,
the thing.
But his parents allowed him to have that hat.
Listen,
I'm just saying though.
That's why I looked at the parents first, and I was like, Brant and Melissa, and they're like, listen, it's what the. And they were quick to tell him like it's what the hat represents, and I felt like, yo, before I come down on you, I'm gonna let you know that this hat, I'm gonna educate my nephew, and to let him know that this is why I made that facial expression, this is why I reacted the way I did, and to this day, I haven't seen that hat around him. I haven't seen pictures with him on it. Though, the thing is, look, I understand that he was doing it because his friends, it was a cool thing to do. I understand that. I'm not trying to give him a pass.
That be like, nigga, I'm not, but how old is he? He's what? How old is he?
14. He's 15 now.
14, 15, nigga, I give a fuck. You live in my house. I'm not letting you bring something in my house I don't support.
And I mean, according to his parents, they don't have shit like hanging, or they don't have none of that stuff. Okay. To me, that's why it was just shocking. And that's why I immediately looked at the parents.
You don't support a lot of views and have shit hanging.
Right, but that's why I immediately looked at the parents. I didn't even like question him. I looked at the parents and I was like, yo. But at the same time, it's like they allowed him to do that, but they corrected it once.
Yeah, they corrected it. It almost felt
like,
to be honest, and they were made uncomfortable.
To be honest, it almost felt like they were waiting for the uncomfortableness to occur to explain to him why.
I guess
they shouldn't have it. It doesn't make it right. But at the same time, it's like, Carter, now you know this. Now I told you this. Don't let me see you doing that. Don't be that nephew, because I told him you have black members in your family that they come and hang out with you all the time. Do you want anybody to do this to you? You have me, that I'm Hispanic, I'm a minority, and then you have your cousin Logan, which is also a minority. that these things are happening. It's not because it's the cool thing to do. It's what it represents. You don't see me rocking the swastika flag, and he automatically is like, nah, because that's associated with the Nazi party, and that was wrong. I was like, yeah, but this is what embodies, you know. So in that case, you're right, Jeff. I mean, at that moment, I felt like I needed to at least bring it up to his attention and educate him a little bit on it. So I guess it depends on, like, you know, with him, I felt like I need to do.
Still be keeping an eye on his motherfucking parents.
Yeah,
he still good. They still getting watched, dog.
Nah, you know, but for me, it was like why did you allow this shit? I was still be watching them because to me, I was like, and even Jamie was like, yo, why'd you have this hat on? And I didn't want to be like, I guess for me, I didn't want to just tear him down right away. I wanted to understand why it is that he felt the need to buy this. Because if you go to DC, you see a lot of these little white kids with that Trump shit in the back, with that Trump hat. They try to buy the blue one now because
a lot
the blue
of white
one,
kids whose parents support that bullshit.
But I don't feel like all of the kids are doing it because of that.
Okay, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying they all doing it because of that, but I'm saying
I'm not here to find out neither. I'm not here to find out neither. So I don't want. But in this case, it was that immediacy. Like, I have a relationship with this guy. Like, so. But he explained it to me. He's like, yo, it was just like on my peer pressure. And I was like, okay, listen, you get a pass now. But just because your friends are doing it, don't make that shit cool, bro. So.
But then that goes back to my point. Does he take that knowledge you gave him now and educate his friends?
Now it's on. Well, I don't know if he's going to educate his friend, but I know there's an expectation of him from me.
I'm just saying, though, that's what I'm talking about, though. That's the second step of it. I give you the tools. Yeah. What are you going to do with it? You know the knowledge now. You know what this means to people of color. What are you going to do with it now?
Right.
And that's a lot to ask for a 14, 15-year-old. True with that. But I'm saying, as far as adults, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about for my first marriage, my wife was white. And then, like, there was an uncle who would say crazy shit, and she basically said, well, we won't be coming to the fucking family dinner if this motherfucker gonna come. If mom and dad, if you want to see your daughter come and family dinner with y'all, you can't come no more. Because we try to talk to him, he's still saying this crazy shit. Mm-hmm. So by you allowing him to be here means you support the crazy shit he's saying.
The only thing I would say to that is this: is that let's say I'm a gardener.
Yeah.
And I got plants, and with this plant, I give it. I plant a seed. I put a little water on it, maybe give it a little fertilizer, some soil, and then I walk the fuck away. And then when I come back, it's a shriveled, dying mess, and I be like, "What's the problem? I gave you the tools."
I get the analogy, but it's
you have to continue to nurture that. You know what I'm saying? So if you say to the 14-year-old kid, "Well, I told you how it is," here's the thing that I like.
Well, I'm saying for the 14-year-old kid.
No. I got another analogy. So I have
we got a hard out.
Next, yeah, we do. Well, okay. Well, I'll try to make it as quick as possible.
No, we're fine.
They're building a house next to me, but before there was a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so this lot was basically growing wild. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was tending it. It was growing weeds. I had a nice little manicured lawn, and I was out there. When I first bought the house, I was the weekend warrior. I would go out there, cut the grass, line it up, get the sprinkler system going, and everything, drop a little fertilizer on that type of stuff, and the lawn was looking nice. But there's this thatch of weeds sitting right next to my lawn. And Mother Nature is working 24/7, dumping weed seeds into my lawn every single day. You know what I'm saying? I'm a weekend warrior. I can go out there maybe a couple hours on Saturday or Sunday, but I can't keep up with Mother Nature, who's constantly dumping weeds into my lawn. You know what I'm saying? After a while, I gave up. You know what I'm saying? So how I put it to this situation: if I am giving you the light and I'm saying, hey, this is the way things should be. As a coach, I spend a certain amount of time. I got 2 hours after school every day coaching my kids up. You know what I'm saying? But they're getting coached down by society all the rest of the day. There's kids in the hallway offering them opportunities to do all kinds of BS that ain't got nothing to do with positivity. You go home, half they home lives are negative. You know what I'm saying? They walk outside the into the neighborhood, somebody getting shot, somebody robbing something, somebody doing XYZ, they slanging, they doing the type of thing. I'm coaching them up for 2 hours out the day. They're getting coached down for 22 hours out the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting my line together for a couple hours at the weekend. The rest of the week is getting weeds dumped into it. If we try to say to this person who has seen the light, they've read the book, they know that they've read You Can't Teach What You Don't Know. So now I know, but I've been coached up for the couple hours while I read that book. But then I go home and they watching Fox News or they're reading info. They're watching InfoWars or Breitbart. Or they getting, the people around them are still wearing MAGA hats. You know what I'm saying? That is a difficult environment to flourish in. They need to continue to receive that nourishment. I can't water that plant that one day and walk away and expect that thing to be a vine. You know what I'm saying? I need to continue to come back to it and have the conversations and feed it and nourish it and put that little, pole next to it so it can grow up towards the sun as opposed to letting it just languish on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like you said, I know that in your careers, you have different things. That's all I do. My whole career is explaining shit to people. You know what I'm saying? If I don't explain shit to people, I don't get no check. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think if we're going to tackle the injustice of society, I know it's exhausting. I know it's a difficult task, but we have to be diligent in continuing to bring light to the conversations, to bring nourishment to the conversations. Because if we don't, it's gonna die on the vine.
I think I feel what you're saying on that, but once again, even in your analogy, the situation that you gave, the person had accepted the knowledge and said that okay, this is that, but they go back to the environment, so you got to like an alcoholic, you have to keep returning to that because an alcoholic is someone who come and said, I don't want to drink anymore, but it's in me, it's something that's part of me. Mm-hmm. I need to keep getting that, either with sponsorship, whether it's through the Lord, whether it's through another hobby that puts that energy into something else. I know I need to keep coming back to that because if I don't, I slip. But then as say, fuck it, I just want to drink. I don't give a fuck what I destroy, what I kill, what I burn. And that's what I'm saying with that's why I said, that's why I gave this, said with the 14-year-old, 15-year-old, that might be a little bit, I agree with a 14 and 15-year-old, people who are just, those neurons are just now forming, whatever the fuck those pathways are open and available. I agree with you wholeheartedly. You do have to turn to that because like you said, even if they in Oakland Park with all the money in the world, there's still a lot of negative bullshit. There's still a lot of their peers who don't know shit and know everything and telling them the wrong things and the wrong path. So as someone, I haven't put nearly as much time into coaching as you have, but when I was coaching my 20s, I did see some of that with those kids going homes to parents who really didn't care, who were going to school who didn't care, and they were coming to us for those 2 or 3 hours, 3 times a week, saying, "Hey, fight here because we feel loved, we feel accepted. You guys are, even though you're hard on us, you make us run. You're always positive, and you always bring out the best in us." So I do agree that you got to keep that on. But situation as far as with my first wife, here's someone. Let's say the garden analogy. That seed was a dud, so I can't keep watering and fertilizing a dud ass seed, right? Yeah. So now I'm giving all my time and effort into this dud ass seed. Sometimes you gotta dig it up and you gotta plant. So with him, he was a fucking dud of a seed. He's in my face. We're sitting here, we're talking, and he's saying all this crazy shit, and I'm like, "Hey man, I don't know what to say to you, dog." And I know that wasn't your point, but I was just saying that was my point with him.
But I'm talking more so about your ex-wife though.
That's
so she is obviously been in the situations, been around you, had the conversations, and she understood that this is an untenable situation.
Right.
We can't continue to be out here with this poisonous environment with this weed. You know what I'm saying? So either y'all going to have to pluck this weed up voluntarily, or we're gonna find another garden to be in. You know what I'm saying? So then the conversation, then the battleground is this: you got the guy who's hardened in his ways, and he's going to be a problem. You got the person who was pointed out that you got the person who's pointed out that this is an issue, and to her credit, that's a member of the family, somebody who's on the in crowd, who has made this assertion. This is a problem and it's untenable. We're not going to sit here and deal with this crap because, you know, the decisions we made, this is not right. The battleground is the people in between. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
What does the family do? Does the family side with, you know, the Winston household and say, "You're right. We're not gonna tolerate this. We need to keep you around," or are they gonna say, "Well, hey, if the Wistons don't come back, that's just how that one went." You know what I'm saying? So,
well, for us,
that's where the battleground is. You know?
Well, for us, he stopped coming. So I don't know if he wasn't invited, or I'm left to assume that they said, "Well, if you can't basically keep your mouth shut and not say these things, you know, agree with the person that Sarah chose to marry a black man, then we don't want you here." But then I agree with you though. So it's like, but there's that part of me like you that wants to sit and talk to people and understand things, but I also get frustrated. I get to the point where there's nothing more I can do, dog. I'm a black man. I am who I am. This is how I was raised. But I don't want your money. I'm not going to rape all your white women. I'm not going to steal from you and all this other kind of crazy shit. Me being here is not going to bring down the price of the fucking property, dog. So all this crazy shit you keep saying. But then there's that part of me, like you said, where, yeah, they told him not to come, but what was the lesson? You know? So I agree with you, but I still think there are some people who are just so cancerous to the discussion that they have to be cut off. I mean, there's still a part of me that just believes that it's like I said, it's a dud seed, and we're putting all this fucking energy and effort, fertilizer and water and love into it, and it's never going to grow. It won't be a vine, it won't be a weed, it won't be anything. It'll just be a spot in the dirt that's just taking up time and energy.
I don't disagree, but then the question is the people around them. Are they worth saving? And do you put the energy into saving them? You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, either you coaching them up or they're getting coached down. Either y'all are in the conversation and you're telling the family, hey, this is where you side with us, or he's over there telling them, because he's definitely doing that. He's definitely saying side with me. You know what I'm saying? So you have to remain, what's the lesson? Hey, I'm not going anywhere. That's the lesson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You don't have to deal with me whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm sorry.
And so pick a side,
I'm sorry. When you said that, I had that, what is that? Not Finding Forrester. What's the other movie? I'm still here. I'm still standing.
I'm still standing. I'm still strong.
I'm strong. Hey, was
it Antoine Fisher?
Yeah, dog, my bad. When you said that, I just flashed at that one. My bad. I'm back, though. I'm still standing. I'm still strong. It's and and I go with my mind, especially because in my military career, I know personally about Sergeant Kramer, who me and Frank both know. We were out. He'll tell you he came from, and part of it was being in the military, having to be around brown people, being around people of color, because he came from Missouri. He got family that was in the Klan. All this other shit. So he could have really, really went the way of that kind of thing. And when he joined the military, he had that idea that browns were less, blacks were less. But by being around and learning the stories and being around more than just these mid-mo motherfuckers, he come to find that we all just won. Mm-hmm. And he would sit and talk about it. And he would say, yeah, man, when you talk about this and your kids and this and that, it just, I can't believe I used to have all these thoughts about how black men were the worst and didn't take care of their families, didn't take care of the women. And I said, it goes back in line too, where I thought I was raised to believe that everybody that's in mid-mos are motherfucking Raging racists, and they hate black people. And to a certain degree, it was correct until he got that knowledge. But like you said, it takes everybody. That's what we've been saying. It's gonna take all of us to get this shit right. But I just hate that sometimes it seems like American society wants people of color to fucking carry the water for the shit that we didn't create.
Well, you know what it is. We want the baby. We don't want to go to the labor pains though. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
I just want to juke you. I don't want you fucking up my old lady's body. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So this is part and parcel. I mean, if we want to get there, we're gonna have to have tough conversations. We're gonna have to stand and and be in our truths, and I was about to say stand your ground, but that might lead to a whole different conversation.
That might be, hey, we'll be back in that dark hole again, man.
Back in that dark hole, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna have to have these tough conversations, man, if we're gonna see growth, man.
And that's for me, like with my nephew is, I think, I'm glad it was me that caught him and that talked to him about it, because I don't know if his parents would have had that conversation with him. They probably did, and that's probably why to his credit, he wasn't wearing. He hasn't worn it in pictures or anything like that, but and it was like put away, at the bottom of his bag too. So it wasn't like, I don't know if he was hiding it or. It's kind of like one of those things, like, I understand the peer pressure, especially at that age, is going to high school already. So I could understand a little bit of that. But at the same time, it's like for me, I felt like there was a need for me to let him know, hey, this is your family, and this is what this represents against your family. All those people you say you love, you hang out with, and this and that, this is what it means. And I don't know what he's going to do with that education. I don't expect him. I wouldn't want him to talk to his peers about that. You know what I'm saying? Until he's actually well knowledged into it. But because that's, that it'll be prone for him to get teased at, especially in the community that he lives in. You know what I'm saying?
You being there will help with that. But also, though, you got to take it that next step to make sure, because I see that happen too, where I had a talk with, Colonel Galloway. She was talking about how, she has an adopted child who is I forget what Latin American country they're from, but she has a family member that says disparaging things about people of color and their beaners and wetbacks, and you go back to where they're from. But he loves my niece. I'm like, yeah, because he sees her loves my adopted daughter. He sees her as an other. So you got, like you said, he's young right now, but make sure he takes that next step of where it's just not, I love Uncle Frank.
Right.
But fuck all them other brown people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that happens too, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the thing about it
sometimes it happens in those moments where you're not even trying to see. Sometimes just being around people, and they observe things that you don't even perceive them observing. And it shapes and forms their ideology. You know what I'm saying? So if you just bring it around and bring your son around them, and just having conversations and just being family, being friends, being coworkers, whatever, just being in the environment, I think sometimes affects change in ways we don't even understand.
Right. Well, talking about coworkers, I do have that one coworker that she's black, but she's a black Republican. And I like her, but it's like, I can't really mess with you. So she's a lost cause for real.
Yeah, you gotta choose your battles. Pick and choose your battles. You know what I'm saying?
And I definitely do. I'm not gonna say I'm not in the wing of not educating people. By no means am I going to go out of my way to educate people. But if the opportunity presents itself and it warrants me to say something, speak up about it, I will.
In the words of the master killer, some savage niggas are lost beyond reach.
And with that, folks, enjoy the music. How can you follow that? What quote are you gonna follow with that with?
Hey man, some savage niggas are lost beyond reach. So yeah, that's the
show title's gonna be the Gardner and the bad.
Hey, stop doing. We supposed to stop doing that, dog. We supposed to stop telling people what the show title's supposed to be, nigga. Just title the show.
The Gardner and the Dud Seed.
There you go. All that.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, yeah. Shit, we've been on for a minute, so it's about that time to happy trails and all that good shit. Anything to say on the way out, Joe?
Oh no, man. Yeah. Enjoy your day, man.
Shit, same you. What about you, Frank?
Don't get tased.
Don't, nigga. You can't help it, nigga. Hey,
it's your fault if you get tased. It's your fault.
Hey, don't follow my black ass home unless you fucking don't know where I live at, you need to follow me home, nigga. Don't follow me home, nigga, because you'll catch a hot one. Don't do it.
Stand your ground.
Nigga, I will stand all my ground, nigga. Me and my 13 friends. But nah, real talk though, man. Thanks for your time, Joe. Thanks for getting on, Frank. Nigga Rockin' Podcast, I-70 Connect, KC Stork here. My man over there is
30 Pieces.
And as always,
enjoy the music.